with the We Are Gone podcast, and I have a guest here, Caitlin, aka.
What's up, you guys? It is KWAY, aka Caitlin Walker, and I am super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We've been talking for a while.
Man, she's been doing this podcast for like, I don't even know when she started, but I know I met her at a New Year's thing that we had last year, and that's when we kind of met, and that was when this was like the foundation. Like she was just now getting to it, and I've been telling her since then. I'm like, whenever you get it rolling, get me on. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like I said, I'm happy to be here, and I cannot wait to get into some things with you. I know we got a lot to talk about.
Yes, we was talking about our New Year's resolutions and where we wanted to go in life and how we wanted to move forward. I started in 2022.
October of 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's actually very
exciting.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's always good to look back and when you, because you know, when you be in your head, it'd be like, I'm not making progress. And then when you talk to somebody, you're like, oh, girl, like I have been doing this for me. So yeah, I'm definitely super proud of you. I cannot wait. I know everything is gonna take off for you. It's really genuine and really, you have really good conversations and a really good thing going here. So
thank you. I do appreciate that. KWAY, for the purposes of this show, I'm gonna call you KWAY. What's your background look like?
So, as she said, Caitlin Walker is my real name, but I have kind of curated this, what do you call it, like an alias or something? But it's not like a nickname that I grew up with or anything. It's just kind of something that just flew. But the KWAY is kind of what I'm using. I'm still in the process of trying to figure out what I really want to use that for right now. Everything is honed in on cooking content, but I do want to like expand KWAY. I don't know what God has in store for me for that. KWAY is the name that I've come up for, like the different business things that I've decided to involve myself with. I am 27. I'm getting up there, y'all. I'm getting up there. I'm done trying to say, when I was 25, I was like, I'm gonna age backwards now. Like now I'm gonna be 24, 23. But I'm honestly, I feel like the 30s are gonna be way better than the 20s. So I'm looking forward to it. So. But yeah, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. I always talk about her accent. She got a thick accent, but say call. Exactly. A group that we click with, everyone in the group is from St. Louis. And you know, Chicago's like 4 hours from St. Louis. But yeah, I'm from St. Louis. Been in Houston for about 2 years now. Loving it here. Missing St. Louis too. And yeah, that's pretty much me. Like I said, I do cooking content. Pretty boring girl. I pray, go to work out, cook.
That's right.
And that's all I do. So
boring is good.
Yeah, it's peaceful.
One of the things that I wanted to know, what do you do for a living?
On the record, I'm a clinical informatics specialist. That's just a bunch of big words for a medical scribe. So, but it's not like, when people hear the word medical scribe, they kind of think it's like a lower tier type of thing, which is true, but the company that I work with, they allow the scribes to like hold a little bit more responsibility, so it expands your clinical knowledge. So I work from home, and I basically follow around nurse practitioners and MDs as they do their primary care visits. So like when you go to the doctor for your annual checkup or whatever, typically the doctor is in the background probably typing on something and creating a note or a letter or something that's going on. But the company that I work with, Oak Street Health, they have kind of tried to offset that load for the providers, so the providers can focus more on their patients. So that's where the scribes come in. We basically just document everything and make sure everything is documented correctly for billing purposes and stuff like that. But yeah, I love working in medicine. I'm actually thinking about going to nursing school. I have some degrees in the science field already. I graduated in 2019. Looking forward to expand my career with that. But yeah, that's what I'm doing right now is paying the bills. So I'm grateful.
And you said on the record, so let's get into this KWAY.
I didn't think you caught that.
Let's get into KWAY. KWAY though.
Well, like I said, on the record, that's like, you know, that's the stuff I'm actually getting to, you know, check every 2 weeks, you know, whatever. But I'm a hustler at heart. St. Louis, Chicago, y'all know how it go. You had you a 9 to 5, but you always want to keep you some quick money on the side. You never know what's gonna happen. So I do the content. I've gotten to the point where I'm monetized on TikTok. I'm not monetized on any other platform yet, but yeah, TikTok doesn't really pay much though. So like monthly, I'm getting like what, $10 to $12 or something like that. But I always tell myself it's gonna be a couple zeros on there.
Yeah, exactly. So, can you talk about that? Because I know some people, they may want to be on TikTok, but they think like, okay, this is a big task. So how do you even set yourself up to get on TikTok to do content? How do they choose you? Because I know that it was very hard for me to get on there.
So great question. Just kind of going a little bit deeper. If you really want to do social media and you really want to do content, think of it as like a business plan. Don't go into it thinking that it's gonna be fun. Ooh, let's do these cute, fun little videos. Like that'll be fine for a time period, but you'll get like word out over there, and then you'll find yourself not having stuff to do content on. So one, for sure, make sure you're super invested in it and you actually do want to do it. My problem and my issue was when I got started, I went into it straight for the money. Like, and I just was just like, that was what was, moving everything. And it's fine to have that as a thought, but it's like you got to be really invested. Like you really have to genuinely like what you're doing. Anybody who's looking to kind of go viral on TikTok or kind of just start their content creator journey, I'm no guru or anything like that. I'm still trying to find my way, but definitely consistency. I know that probably sounds like, we're beating a dead horse, but that is the truth. Consistency for sure. Just like I said, just be more businessy about it. Don't be sloppy with it. And just, if you have content creators that you like, start following them and start mimicking some of the things that they do. Not to say that you're copying them or whatever, but like you got attracted to their video for a reason. So what's wrong with you doing something similar to what they did type of thing? But and also get out of your head, because that's literally probably the number one thing. I should have said that first. Get out of your head. Like people want to see what you're talking about. If you talk about socks, if you talk about shoelaces, they want to see what you talking about. The right, you gonna find your content, you gonna find your niche. What's the niche? You gonna find your niche. So just get out your head, stay consistent, and be serious about it.
So look, you said stay consistent. Now I know sometimes we get inconsistent. So what do you do? Like, what's your tactics? What are your methods for staying consistent? Do you have a planner? Volunteer? What?
I truly believe I have undiagnosed ADHD. Like, I'm not gonna lie, because I literally be everywhere, and I don't have it on me, but I typically have like a little notepad or something with me throughout the day. Just as thoughts cross my head, I just write them down, because I know I'm an overthinker, and then like I said, I feel like I got a little bit of ADHD too, so I literally just be everywhere. Like, I'll come up with a great idea and then I'll forget it because I didn't write it down or something like that. But as far as just staying consistent, that helps. But also taking breaks. I haven't gotten to the pattern of when I've set like a set like time. Like, that was something that I admired about you when we were trying to set a date for this. She was like, I normally do stuff on the weekends, you know what I'm saying? So there were days where I was trying to come and she's like, nah, that don't really work. And that's a big important thing too. Take a time for yourself, so that you may remain consistent. If you are sitting up here, I gotta post every day, I gotta post every day, I gotta post every day, you're a human, you're gonna get tired. Take a day or two out the week for yourself. That's something that I'm, like I said, trying to start getting into. So right now, I don't really think I'm super consistent, but I'm more consistent than what I've been in the past. And I think all of that kind of just falls back on me genuinely enjoying what I do. Like, I think that's what makes consistency the easiest for a lot of these content creators, because they're genuinely doing what they like to do. It's not like an extra task or something like that. It's just like, I like to do this. Let me set the camera up and do this type of thing. So
let's get into that, because one thing that I did notice is once I started to kind of like get internalized and be like, dang, I'm not posting consistent, I started looking at people who I admire. They were posting like every 5 days. Oh my gosh. And I'm like, dang, am I supposed to post every day? These people ain't posting until every 5 to 7 days, and they got like several likes, people doing their content, like subscribing and everything like that. So it's good that you notice, kind of like give yourself some grace, because that is very important. Like, you think you're supposed to post, but really people be out here putting their phone down, not posting for days.
Okay. And that adds to your quality too. When you're like, just put it in perspective. If you're already drained, but you're like, I gotta do a video, you're not gonna put out the same type of quality video had you took a day off or whatever and got your mind together and then, approach something. So like, going back to what you were saying, there's people posting every 5 or 6 days or whatever. They're probably posting once a week because they're taking that full week to prep that great video. So it's not just like some, excuse my language, with BS people are just putting out. It's like, it's genuine content that they put time into, and you know the video speaks for itself with the likes and subscribers and all that. So
yeah. So let's talk about your content. So what does your content actually look like?
it depends on which platform you go to.
The one you're making money out
right.
of.
So TikTok. You'll probably find a mix on my TikTok. I do like the little vlogs, like mini vlogs. I'll do like, you know when there's like a trend with a song and like CapCut lets you like put all these videos. So I'll do videos like that. But most recently, like within the past 6 or 8 months, I've been getting into doing like step-by-step cooking videos. And that's kind of how everything kind of got started for me. So I still drop a few like get ready with me's and whatever, because I still feel like I want my personality to exude through my content that I do. So I sporadically will drop something here and there, but for the bulk part right now is cooking content, and I'm enjoying it. I cook every single night, so it's just like keep doing what you're doing, but just set the camera up.
So how is cooking going for you right now? Not more so like, you know, how you feeling about it, but more so like bringing in like the notoriety. How's that going for you?
I've struggled, because I'm not from here, I've struggled with trying to build like kind of like an in-person audience. Like my virtual audience is great, like I have a lot of supporters, so I'm grateful for that. But as far as like really trying to be out here and like physically show people my face, that part has been a little bit difficult. I've been using the different opportunities to network. Like there's YouTubers that want me to be in their videos and stuff, so when I go to video shoots and stuff, I'll use that time to network and you know, like, hey, what's your social media? Let's exchange social medias or whatever. So I've been kind of using that because I'm like I said, I'm not from here, so I've just been kind of using those opportunities to network. And then most recently, I've only done 2 of these so far, but I do plan to do more of them. Most recently, I've started to just cook large amounts of food and basically just post on my cooking page. KWAY Cooks on IG, y'all.
Yes, KWAY Cooks.
Yes, I post all my cooking content there, and sporadically I'll just be like, hey, you know what? I feel like cooking this weekend, and I'll drop a menu, and I'll be like, hey, I got enough for 5 to 7 plates. DM me, whoever first come, first serve, and that's another way that I've been trying to kind of get my name out here, and I'm slowly but surely, you know, making KWAY Cooks known. So I am thankful for everybody that have tapped in with KWAY so far.
Yes, because I can't wait till you post that again.
I should have brought you a plate.
I promise. I promise. If I'm by my phone, I'm going to DM you or I'm going to text you. So let's get into the mental health part of it all, because with all of this, sometimes you can feel a little overwhelmed. What did that look like for you? Have you ever had like a breakdown moment where you just like, I can't do this no more, or like this is too much, or I need to take a break?
Yeah. Yeah. So 2020 was a big year for me. Both on the good and bad side. I lost my dad in May, and I lost my grandpa in July. So this social media stuff, like outside of the deaths happening, you know, you realize you got real life going on. So you still be trying to figure yourself out. Maybe you trying to work on different parts of you. Maybe you got a potty mouth, or maybe, you know, so you already have these life battles that you fighting with yourself, and then other life happens, you know what I'm saying? So I want to say that I was already kind of like in like a slump a little bit, just because moved to Houston. I was just, I don't know, I was just very like weary about the move, because I didn't come down here with anybody. Like it was just a lot of nerves that came with it. And then, like I said, as I moved here, it just seemed like just bad stuff just kept happening. So yeah, my mental health has definitely been affected throughout this whole process, and I'm not trying to sound cliche, y'all, I'm really not, but Jesus, like Jesus. That is the only thing that has kept me through. If I get my phone right now and swipe through my videos and my pictures, you'll probably see 5 to 10 videos of me just bawling. Because I don't know why I've done that, but since God has been dealing with me, ever since my dad passed, God has been dealing with me, and I've been just dealing with these different fluctuations of emotions. One day I'm great, you know, let's go out, let's go do stuff, let's handle business. Other days I can't get out the bed, I'm crying myself to sleep because I'm thinking about my dad and my grandpa or whatever. And it's no amount of books, it's no amount of podcasts. There's no amount of anything tangible that can compete with God in my eyes. You know, I have all the books, I have all the talks, I've had multiple podcasts that I've listened to and stuff to try to like help me work through everything that I felt like I was dealing with. And the only thing that has truly brought me comfort and peace is my relationship with God. And I don't know if it's a Bible verse or what, but I grew up in church, and this is a saying that a lot of people say, like, God will break you before he kind of like brings you to the next level of life. And I really feel like that's kind of what's going on with me right now. God is in the process of breaking me, because I was out here almost, at the time I didn't know, but because I'm doing a lot of self-reflection right now, I was out here. And I really feel like that's kind of what's going on with me right now. God is in the process of breaking me, because I was out here almost, at the time I didn't know, but because I'm doing a lot of self-reflection right now, I was out here almost deliberately trying not to follow God. Like I was, like, obviously I'm not in my head saying like, oh God, I'm gonna go against you. But like I said, when I sit and I self-reflect, it's like, you knew that wasn't something you were supposed to be doing. You knew that was something you weren't supposed to be a part of. So he is the only thing that is bringing me peace right now. And like I said, I don't mean to sound cliche. If you're not spiritual, if you don't believe in God, you know, of course, do what you can to help your mental. But for me personally, to this day now, that is the only thing that brings me true serenity and true peace. Is just talking to God.
Definitely. I appreciate you for even sharing it. And once again, my condolences to you.
Thank you.
And your loss. Definitely understand how it feels to lose somebody in the midst of you trying to build yourself up.
It's like it's like it be purposeful sometimes. It's like, dang, I was cool, and then you gonna drop this on me?
Yes. So how has your family been supportive of you?
They've been as supportive as they can be. They're in St. Louis, so you know, my mom calls often, my brothers call and text often, my grandma, she lost her husband, so she does what she can, but she's grieving as well. So we try to do what we can as a family, but like when I go home for Christmas and when I go home, like I probably go home to St. Louis probably 4 times out the year. But that's the time that I really use to kind of like, you know, cope and just get everything out. My mom is super sensitive. I get that from her. My dad was like the complete opposite. My mom is super duper sensitive, super duper empath, like just very into people's emotions. So she'll text me these long messages every once in a while that just be like, you know, hey daughter, I'm thinking of you. You know, just, you know, mamas know, you know what I'm saying? So those type of messages have kind of been helping me. But like I said, God has opened this door for me to be out here, but I do think he was being strategic on what he was doing, because it's literally all just bringing me back to him. You know what I'm saying? So with my family not being here, it forces me to lean on my true father for, you know, comfort and peace and, you know, all of the good things that he provides. So family and God, I'm grateful, and they definitely are helping my mental for sure. Yeah,
and you did say strategic. Definitely understand that totally. For times where I or someone would blame God for the things that are happening, instead of seeing, okay, wait a minute, after this happened, but what about this that's happening too? So yeah, definitely can relate to the build up from the breakdown. And stuff just be happening, and you have no control. The one thing I learned was to release control, but it's still hard. Like, it's still hard.
Something I'm working on now is finding peace in the process. Literally, maybe turmoil going on right now, but you have to find something that you can hone in on that brings you peace. And like I said, that's God, you know, because once you really, and I'm not trying to turn this into no sermon. Once you really really embody him and really take him in, and y'all, by no means am I saved, Holy Ghost filled, any of that. It's just, I've grown up in church, and there was like a time period where I basically just took like a little hiatus from God. And now it's like that child aspect of being a child of God is coming back through me. But y'all, I just keep God. If you gonna mess with God, if you're gonna say that you want to be with God and follow him, don't half step with God. Don't, and again, y'all, I'm speaking from experience. I'm not speaking like I'm better than anybody or anything like that, but I used to half step with God. I used to basically like, okay, God, when I feel good, I'm gonna do good. But when I get that little urge, maybe I want to smoke a little blunt. Maybe I want to take a little drink or whatever. But I know in my head that that's not something that God wants me to do. But, you know, you can't half step with God. If you're going to do it, you're going to do it. And if you're not going to do it, wait until you're ready, because God takes all of that as disrespect. And, you know, just really fully embody him and fully lay your cares at his feet. Don't worry about anything else. If you praying to God about healing, if you praying to God about addiction, if you praying to God about trauma, whatever, truly, once you get up from off your knees, leave it there and let God handle it. Because there was a podcast, and I don't remember the name of the young lady, but she basically was like, when you pray and then continue to worry, you basically disrespecting God. You basically saying like, yeah, God, I prayed to you and I boo-boo cried and I really want you to do this for me. But as soon as I got up from my feet, I just keep why are you worrying? Why are you worrying about it? You just prayed to God. You just praised him and said he's worthy and he can do everything. And you know he's gonna come through. Why are you getting up off your feet, going back into that worldly type of thought? So that's a big thing too. The mind, God is a mind regulator, but if you don't allow him to regulate your mind, somebody else will. So I'm gonna just leave that right there. You know what I'm saying? So, but just if you're not a believer, man, maybe this is your sign to open up your Bible. But keep God at your forefront, and I promise you, everything will be fine. I promise you.
So it sounds like, one, you have that family support, but two, you also have the support of the Father, and you're able to say, hey, I have these cares, I have these worries, but look, I'm not believing with you, and I'm just going to follow whatever path you want me to follow. So,
and that's difficult, you guys. That's difficult. That is so hard. And I still struggle with that, but I have to tell myself, if I know I done prayed about something, I literally have to tell myself, stop. Like, stop worrying about it. You literally just prayed to the Almighty God. Stop worrying about it. And just go on about your day. So, and that has brought me a lot of peace. So just a little food for thought. If you're dealing with overthinking or just always in your head, just try praying about it.
Yes, and I know you say you grew up in the church, but growing up in the church for myself, I realized that what I was taught, I didn't get to embody it because I was scared into submission. So, of course, when you fear something, it's like, well, is this really going to help me or not? And so I had to become an adult and actually understand for myself. And once I did that, now I don't fully understand. I'm learning. But once I did that, I was able to say, you know what I was taught, I'm not going to blame my predecessors because they was only teaching me what they knew. But at the same time, you know, let's go ahead and let's just start from, I like to say the Genesis, even though Genesis is the beginning of the Bible, but you know, I like to say, let's just start from the root so you can gain a better understanding and better clarity. And I definitely understand about that breakdown because I had one. It was real bad, like to the point where, look, I'm getting a little emotional right now because it was so bad. But you know, once I realized I had to completely step away from people who were actually plaguing me in environments that were plaguing me, and also take accountability for my role because I can't just you.
That's huge.
You know, that was a big part of my journey. Stop pointing at people. It's not all their fault. You know, it's your fault too. You messed up. So
that's a big thing. Not trying to always point the finger. I feel like that's a thing that we as a whole just need to. You know, we always just want to blame somebody for everything. Had I grown up better, I'd been better off, or had I this, or had I that. Like, start taking accountability for yourself. Everybody is not dealt the same cards, but you can still prosper. And it's funny that you bring that up about growing up in church and then not blaming, you know, the people who came before you about what you thought about God and stuff, because that's basically what. When I said I took a hiatus from God, that's pretty much like what was going on. I grew up in church, but then, you know, once you get out your mama's house and stuff, you can do what you want. So, you know, I grew up to where my mom, single parent, my dad was around, but he was an addict. That's a big part of the reason that led to his death. He could never let them drugs and alcohol go. So my mom was a single mother for the most part. My dad would be around here and there, but I think my mom almost shielded us too much. You know how you just don't want your kids to be a part of anything?
Yeah.
So I think she almost shielded, at least me, I can't speak for everybody, but she maybe shielded me a little too much to where my yearn to figure out what the world was like burning inside of me. Like, it was like, you can't drink, you can't go party, you gotta be home at 10. As soon as you get done with basketball practice, come home. No, you can't spend the night at your friend's house. No, they can't come over. No this, no that. And it's like, of course, as a kid, we're like, Mom, like, you lame. Like, why can't I do anything? But still, I was obedient, so I truly did not do any of them things. You know, some kids, they still break out the house and stuff like that. I was scared of my mom. I'm still scared of my mom. You know what I'm saying? I refuse to go against what anything my mom say. So I did that, but once I got to college, I got my own car, I got my dorm room. You know what I'm saying? I feel like an adult. And so I feel like me wanting to see what the world was like again was God, because it's like, you know what? I got this foundation in you. You know what's good, but since you want to be disobedient and you want to think you big and bad, I'm gonna let you go on and go do what you do. But watch you come on back. And it's crazy because I don't know if the right word is the tether or what, but I kind of relate my relationship with God when I was out there doing what I wanted to do to kind of like a what do you call it? What's the little padding ball? What is it? You get it from no, you get it's attached. And it's,
I know what you're talking about. It's the thing that's already the ball that's on the string.
Essentially,
it's always broke. Yeah,
that was my favorite toy from the Dollar Tree growing up. But so essentially, I felt like, you know, the foundation was the paddle and I was the string. But like, you know, God will only let you go so far until He pops you back. So it was like I would be out there doing what I was doing, but it would still not feel right. It was like, okay, go on and get this, scratch this little itch and do what you gotta do. But eventually, you know, you're gonna find yourself back. And so I'm happy to be back, and I'm thankful for that tether that God has kept on my life, because I don't know where I would be. I got presented with a lot of environments and a lot of situations that I could have partaken in, but because of that foundation, you know, I've always found my way back to God. So yeah, I definitely resonate with what you're saying as far as, you know, growing up in church and then trying to get out here in this world and thinking one thing is one, and it's definitely not so.
Yeah, definitely not. So, and I appreciate you for sharing that and your walk with Christ and your journey. So I want to know, how do you maintain the balance of course, you will get critiqued by the public and be in the public eye. So just have that mental grounding to just, I don't know, just have a level head when you're presented with opportunities that may be negative or negative to your art.
And this, I feel like God is like in this now because it's crazy. But so, you know, I was a part of that tube house. Tube house. So that would probably be the only time I feel like there was like a conflict of like my faith that has come up with this this YouTube stuff. But it's like I did the wrong thing. Like, I prayed to God about it, but like my flesh and everything was still involved. Like I'm still on the up and coming. I'm still like trying to get my name out here. So I get presented with this opportunity with this well-known YouTuber. And she's like, hey, I want you to be in this YouTube house. We're about to push out all this content, Her videos do well. They get 50 to 100K. You know, like they do pretty well. So I'm just like, God, maybe this is my big break. But like I said, I was still within my faith journey and everything. And I did pray to God about it. I'm like, God, if you're not in this, please show me that you're not in this, so I know that this is not something that I need to do or whatever. And, you know, I'm still trying to differentiate between what's God talking, what's me talking,
I'm there with you,
and all of that. So like I'm like, I done prayed about it, but I know God won't allow me to go through something and not cover me or whatever. So I'm like, I still feel worried about it. I still don't know if God told me to do it or not. But the opportunity is here. Everything is seeming like okay. So it really was just like, okay, let me take this day by day and see how things go. So I obviously did the tube house. We pushed out maybe 3 or 4 videos. But the whole time I was there, it was just like off. Like it was just, it was off. Like, and for me, not for everyone else, it was just for me. It was just very off and different from what I do. Like, you know, this was like, I don't know if y'all familiar with like the tube houses and stuff, but basically it's very drama. It's like a conflict of like my faith that has come up with this YouTube stuff, but it's like I did the wrong thing. Like I prayed to God about it, but like my flesh and everything was still involved. Like I'm still on the up and coming. I'm still like trying to get my name out here. So I get presented with this opportunity with this well-known YouTuber, and she's like, "Hey, I want you to be in this YouTube house. We're about to push out all this content, da da da." And her videos do well. They get 50 to 100K. They do pretty well. So I'm just like, God, maybe this is my big break. But like I said, I was still within my faith journey and everything, and I did pray to God about it. I'm like, God, if you're not in this, please show me that you're not in this, so I know that this is not something that I need to do or whatever. And you know, I'm still trying to differentiate between what's God talking, what's me talking.
I'm there with you.
And all of that. So like, I'm like, I done prayed about it, but I know God won't allow me to go through something and not cover me or whatever. So I'm like, I still feel worried about it. I still don't know if God told me to do it or not. But the opportunity is here. Everything is seeming like okay. So it really was just like, okay, let me take this day by day and see how things go. I pushed out maybe 3 or 4 videos, but the whole time I was there, it was just like off. Like it was just, it was off. Like, and for me, not for everyone else, it was just for me. It was just very off and different from what I do. Like, it's very drama driven.
And like reality TV.
So like it's very drama driven, and there's really no script. It's just really like off the dome with a lot of things. And going into it, I was hoping that I could, you know, again, exude my personality and just kind of be able to do whatever. But there were scenes where they like kind of wanted me to tussle with some folks and like just basically do drama, and I ended up doing like 2 episodes where it was that, but like after that I had to tell them like, I'm cool, like I don't, if we gonna continue to do the drama and stuff like that, I'm cool with being in the video, but like I don't want to be the center of that, because it's, for one, it's not true, and 2, that's just not my body. Like I don't really want to do that. So again, like I said, I know God was present during this whole time. I was praying to him, like, you know, even after I still didn't met with him and stuff, I'm like, God, you know, I still feel weary about this. Like I know you are allowing me to do this, and I appreciate the opportunity, but God, I just still feel very weird about it. Like, can you please just tell me where I'm supposed to go? And you know, didn't necessarily hear an answer from God or anything like that, but I just kept going on with it. And then eventually there was a meeting that happened. I'm like, I have to drive an hour, so if we're not filming, I'm not gonna come. So I didn't go. I don't know. I say all that to say basically like, I guess God ended that for me. Maybe like, I guess I'm not to the point where maybe he did tell me no initially and I didn't hear it or whatever. But like, you know, God never left me in that situation, and I continued to pray with him about my feelings, and you know, he fought that battle for me. He ended it, and he made it to where I wasn't gonna have to continue to do that. But having that happen, moving forward, that's something that I'm like big on. Like that's kind of like my mental blocker. Like I have to pray about it first, and I have to sit with it. And like with you, this was a no-brainer. Like I didn't feel any weariness or anything. Like I just was like, I'm gonna go do this podcast, and it's gonna be great. Like we're gonna talk about some stuff, and I'm gonna get some stuff on my chest. Might be a little therapy session. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So,
I got the couch.
Exactly. So I'm like, let's go do it. But like with other things, it's just like, So doing that. But again, I know there's people out here who are not spiritual. But so if you are somebody who, you know, kind of are trying to figure out like which way or what, your body is gonna tell you. Like even though I prayed to God about it, like I said, I still felt weird about it in the flesh. So it's like, pay attention to those feelings and pay attention to how your body is reacting. Maybe you're tensed up and don't even know it, or maybe you're, you know what I'm saying, shy or whatever. Like just try to pay attention to your body and just do that, and just know who you are, and just try to partake in things for that reason.
You said something really interesting, and I believe, because I watch Pastor PMJ like often from Alabama, and one of the sermons was about how kind of like gift wrapping that seems to be from God is not really from him. And so that's kind of why I think like when certain opportunities come around, like all money not good money, or all opportunities not good opportunities, because they could potentially ruin your brand. Like I don't think I have a brand, but I feel like I do have a brand. I don't know, I get it in my head a lot. But you know, if I was to do like a certain platform, I would feel like, you know, that wasn't for me, then I feel like it would just ruin everything. And sometimes like we're not forward thinking when it comes to that. But you're right, like our body will tell us, like that discernment, it'll just like kind of get you like, no, I don't think so. Like to the point where you might feel sick to your stomach, like even going in this opportunity. So
and listen to your body and be okay with missing out. Like the FOMO is crazy.
Yes, the FOMO is crazy.
It is, like, but be okay with missing out on things, because sometimes we get so caught up in an opportunity that like everything else around us is like we're in a dark hallway and all we see is that one opportunity. But it's just like, that's one opportunity. That's one thing. Like you say no here, there's a million other doors you can go. Create your own door. Like, you know what I'm saying? Do what you want to do, but I don't know, just thinking about trying to go through something for publicity now, like, cause that was literally what it was for me. It was like, okay, I know this not really nothing I want to do, but I just know I can get my name out there and I know people will start following me. I probably gained 10 followers, it may be like 30 YouTube subscribers, which I'm not complaining, but it's like what I thought was going to happen was not the return of what happened. And again, I feel like that was God too. It's like, you know, you going into this for the glory of yourself, but what you do on this earth is supposed to exude my glory, God's glory. You know, you shouldn't be out here posting for other people and all of this stuff. You should be out here trying to exude something of God. So again, just trying to recenter myself and just kind of be genuine with everything has definitely opened my eyes to a lot of things that I should not have done. But I'm grateful for the discernment. I'm grateful for another opportunity to make the right decision moving forward. So
we talk about family support and also, like I said earlier, walking in our faith. What about friends? Do you feel like you have friend support? What does it look like to have support outside of that for you, like friends? And what would you qualify as, oh yes, thank you for that. Thank you for that friend support. So what do they even look like?
So I'm gonna speak like from and this is not that anyone did anything wrong to me or anything like that, but again, I just really feel like I'm growing up. God is dealing with me, and me as a person, when I'm going through a lot and when I have to figure out a lot, I'm best by myself.
Okay.
So I don't mean to hurt feelings. I don't mean to look a certain way or make it seem like I'm better off without you or whatever, but it's just like, as I'm going through this season, I have to do this by myself. And if while I'm going through this season, you were a person that was not necessarily bringing value to me, or maybe there was too much drama involving you at the time. Not to say that a person is drama filled or whatever, but maybe just during the time there was nothing really I was gaining from the relationship or whatever. So right now, I definitely have like, I don't know, like I have friends, but like I don't have like buddies, like, hey girl, let's go grab a drink, you know, let's go get food real quick or whatever. And that's like by choice. Like I have people I can call or whatever if I wanted to, but like I said, when I'm in this space right now, me personally, I work best when I'm by myself, because I just feel like I'm coming out of a season where I was using validation as like my, I don't even know the word, but as like my like drug almost. Like validation was like how I measured my worth and everything. So I'm coming out of a season of that. So I just needed to be by myself for a while to just block out everything and really get to know me. But looking forward, when I do, you know, get to the point where I want to start, you know, being more social and having friends and stuff, I would say that the support for me would just look like, you know, if you know what my goal is, you should be helping me reach my goal. So for instance, for you, if I wanted to support you, I would say like, I need to be subscribed to your YouTube channel. I need to be sharing your podcast every time you post. I need to comment. Not every time, but like that's the type of stuff I'm looking for. Like, are you being a social media person, you know that's how people get their accolades. Like the more comments, the more views and stuff like that. The more you can do to help me reach those things, that's kind of where I see the support. And then I'm also attached with a lot of people who have their own platforms. So they do different things. So for instance, you do the podcast and I do the cooking thing. So she brought me here. Maybe I'll have her on a cooking show or something like that and allow her to come on there and talk about, hey, I do my podcast, follow me, you know, stuff like that. Just supporting everybody and just truly, genuinely being happy for each other, not the competition and all that weird energy. So that's what I see as support.
I'm glad you say that, because also one of the things I see within that too is people that know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. It's like you bring me in the right room. I know you love me because you about to, you know. But even in this journey too, like to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, like just people, acquaintances that I have met, just sending me, DMing me, telling me to apply for this podcast, like apprenticeship type thingy. And because I have like self-imposter syndrome, I won't apply. I just be looking crazy.
You have such, man, I know this is supposed to be about me and stuff, but
no, it's about you.
Vaughn,
my inbox.
Man, I want y'all to blow her videos up and please just comment and like and do what you can to instill more confidence in her, because she truly has a great thing going and she don't see it. Like, she sees it, but like she don't see it how she need to see it. As you can hear, you know, you're timid about applying for things and stuff like that, but you have it. Like I feel like you're relating again, like with the validation things. Maybe we're relating our views and our likes and our comments to the quality of our content, and it's not that. Those don't always correlate. Again, it's about finding your group. And so I feel like, you know, I think you have a great, and then you truly know what you're talking about. Like, this is what you do off the camera. You know what I'm saying? So this is really you, and this is the stuff we need in the Black community for sure. Just having talks about real life things and, you know, being able to help each other. So, I'm glad you caught this wave, and I want you to keep catching it and do everything that you can, because I really do see this going far.
Thank you. It's a little hard. I don't know if you've been in this space where, you know, you see the vision, but you know, you have these other factors like children and you know, you got a job, you got life be life, and then you kind of get like confuzzled and like your brain is like overwhelmed to the point where you completely like step back or half-ass it. Right. I don't know. Have you ever been?
I have. Okay. And then that's when I have to take a step back and be like, no, don't stop, but you're at a point where you're burnt out. So let's take a break. Let's take a 2-week break. Yeah. And we don't have to tell nobody that. We don't have to do none of that, because this is ours. Yeah. We don't have to, we're not on contract. We don't have to push out videos every single day. Yes, we know that that's what we're supposed to do to get the content, but if we're burnt out, we're burnt out. If my kid had a temper tantrum, got kicked out, and ain't no groceries in the fridge, and you know, we got all this, you have real life going on. So it's like, what do that look like, me sitting down and, okay guys, like I'm going through it right now and I can't post content. So and then maybe that is what you talk about the next time you come back. You find somebody that resonates with that, and now you got 10 or 15 more subscribers or whatever. So I just think man, you just gotta take it day by day and do what you can as you can, because I feel like this is a great thing going. I would hate for this to like stop. Like, even if you get to a point where you gotta take months off or whatever, don't stop doing what you're doing, because even with the podcast stuff that's on like you're the reason that I downloaded the Apple Podcast. I didn't even know that was a thing. But I don't think you should stop it up.
Thank you. How do you maintain authenticity with your work? Because you know, people be cooking, you know, but at the same time, it's like, how do you put the love in your dishes? Like,
I mean, I'd be me for the most part, y'all. Like, I feel like I have somewhat of an attractive personality naturally, and it's always been like that. I feel like people have always kind of like clung to me and asked me for advice and things like that. And I love talking to myself and just talking in general. So as far as like just being super authentic, like I never been too keen on being like fake. Like I never been the type of person to where I could go into something and just not show any parts of me. So there were some things that went down that were not necessarily authentically me, but again, I didn't have to like speak up for myself and say, you know, hey, I'm cool with it. If this is what we need, you know, you gotta push out something to get the viewers and stuff. Like, if that's what we want to do for the first couple videos, that's cool, but like, this is not going to, because this is not me, you know what I'm saying? So just another thing too, just being you, like, and knowing and truly embodying that anyone can do this. Like, anybody. Like, if you going into this thinking only in set type type of people can do this, you're not gonna prevail. Like, you have to know that just for you thinking that you can set a camera up and create a following, you're already set apart. You're already like different and thinking differently than everybody else. So again, like before you partake in anything, partake in yourself and know yourself. And I just think everything else flows better when you do it that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, for sure. Thank you for sharing that too. I want to know, with everything that you've experienced, what is something you say to yourself every morning to keep going and doing, one, the medical scribe, but also at the same time being a human being, also cooking. Like, how do you start your day, like your morning? Like, what does that look like to keep going?
My morning typically looks like me snoozing for like 15, 30 minutes. I literally set an alarm with the intent to snooze every morning. So,
okay, I like that.
I don't know why I'm trying to get out of that too, but just as far as trying to make sure that I have good days, I have like a daily Bible on my phone, and every morning at 8 a.m. it sends me like a random verse. And typically it does apply to like what is going on. Again, I just feel like God, maybe I'm like trying to make too much stuff a coincidence, but I just feel like God is really working with me right now. So a lot of those verses are reflective to my life, and typically when I read it, I'll be like, oh, okay, God, like, all right, let me go ahead and go do this for another day. So again, like anytime I'm talking about God, talking with God, listening to gospel music or whatever, like that gets me in a good mood. And then I also think about the type of life that my father had. That hasn't been a recurring thought every morning, but in the last like 2 months, I will say like I've been thinking about my dad a little bit more often, just from the side of him not getting the type of life that he should have. And he made his decisions. I'm gonna just keep it brief about what happened with my dad. Basically, my dad, he was the oldest. It was only 2 of them. He was the oldest brother, and he was the brother who he could never like feel that true love from his parents. The baby got all of that, but he, for whatever reason, he always got the shorter end of the stick. But he was also the brother that was very good with his hands. He could fix everything. He could cut the yard. He could cook. He could do everything. Throughout his life, it got misconstrued. Like he started feeling like, okay, if I didn't do this, then they weren't gonna love me. So then that became his whole little thing, and that foundation started at a very young age. I'm talking 10, 11, 12 years old. So that took place, and then he became an alcoholic at like the age of 13 to 14 years old, which he told me he used to drink, the MD bottles, the 22. He said him and his brother used to kill one of them every day before they got on the bus. So that's where the addiction and everything started. But I just think about how that type of foundation created the life that he had, going into drugs and having a beautiful wife with 5 kids, being married for 20 years and truly seeing how the drugs and alcohol destroyed him and eventually truly killed him. My dad ended up with early onset dementia at like the age of 45. It was drug-induced, alcohol-induced dementia, stage 4 metastatic bone cancer. It started in his liver, again, because he was a crazy drinker. Probably had cancer for years, but then eventually it just spread everywhere. Once it hit the bone and it's metastatic, it's over with. But basically just seeing how his life went and being able to break all of that down, I think about him every morning, and I'm just like, Dad, I love you and I thank you for everything, but I do not want to be like you. Like I don't want to be lazy, and I don't want to sleep on my talents, and I don't want to succumb myself to alcohol and drugs because I'm sad or because I feel like my family don't love me or whatever. And he wanted to be close to God. When he was with my mom would drag him to church, but every time he went to church, it was a good time. He enjoyed himself. But you're dealing with 2 dogs on the inside of you. My mama say it's a battle of which dog you're gonna feed the most. That's the dog that's gonna prevail. Are you gonna feed your spiritual dog or your world?
So I like that.
That's the dog that won for him. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to feed my spiritual dog and just using him. Obviously I hate that it had to go how it went, but that's the kind of stuff that kind of keeps me going. You see how it can go, but let's create a different outcome.
And I think it takes a lot to actually reflect on everything in regards to your parents' life, and kind of apply the fact that, okay, like, I see where this went wrong.
We almost forget that as kids. We forget that they were kids, and there's a reason their life is how they are.
This is one thing I talk about in group therapy when clients say, I'm not healed yet. It's been 2 weeks. It's been a week. And, you know, I empathize for them because you have to realize how the brain works. And once you've repeated a pattern for so long, your brain kind of like forms those bonds, and you kind of just can't break them overnight or within a week, within a month. It don't happen that way. This is where it started, and this is where it continued. It almost like, it puts everything in perspective, especially with mental health. And I see that as like, you know, alcoholism is something you just can't get rid of. And you need support. It's like so much that you need also the will and the courage to do it. And it's hard. Like, I work with SUD groups. It's hard for them. It's really, really hard for them.
When the foundation is rooted in, like, some people pick up drinking for reasons. Some people just get hooked on it because they started drinking and they couldn't stop. But some people, I think it's harder for the people who got hooked on it for a deeper reason. Because it's like they truly are sad at the end of the day. And it's like, until that sadness gets dealt with, it's like the alcoholism truly won't really go away, because it's just like it's rooted in something so much deeper than you know. God has just been a big part of my life, so I'm gonna just keep spreading His name and keep saying everything, because I do feel like that's what we are called on this earth to do, is to spread the gospel. Just again, if you are not spiritual, take what I'm saying. Don't make it seem like I'm trying to tell you to go to church, but you know, hear what I'm saying and try to have an open heart about God. Maybe give Him another try. You know, maybe this is your time for Him to show you who He really is. Maybe you weren't in the right headspace when you tried to try God. Maybe try Him again. But truly, if you are really trying to work on your mental, work on who you are as a person, it all starts with you. And then, you know, figure out what helps you find you. And for me, that was God. It may not be the same for you, but, you know, figure out what helps you find you, and do that before you try to do anything else. Do that before you try to have a relationship. Do that before you try to get a new job. Do that before you try to move to another city. Do that before you try to do anything that is going to affect your life, because if you don't deal with it now, it'll spill over in other situations, and then you'll be somewhere like, I don't know how I got here. I don't know why I got here, or whatever. Had you just dealt with it initially, took your time, took 2-3 months off, you know, you would have been okay. But we all human, y'all. We all go through stuff. So I'm just another person going through things, trying to enlighten somebody to, you know, have a better life. Because it's a lot of good things out here. We don't have to focus on the bad all the time.
We like to say, like, it's not what's going on, of course. It's how you look at it, how you react to it, what you see it as.
Perspective.
Well, I want you to, first of all, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. Leave the people with an affirmation, if you can.
Affirmation from KWAY. Be you, for you, and not nobody else. Be you, for you, and love you. You know, don't do anything for anybody else. Love you before you love anybody else. And know that you are amazing how you are. You probably have all these great qualities that you don't know anything about, because you just haven't taken the time to get to know yourself. Spending your time out here trying to please everybody else, get to know everybody else, do everything for everybody else, and you are sleeping on a wonderful person inside of you. So just get to know yourself, know you are a great person, know that people are lucky to have you around and not the other way around. And just keep God in your life. And y'all, that's all I got. I'm happy Vine got me on here, man. Hopefully she'll bring me back.
Yes!
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Make sure y'all subscribe to the podcast, man. We are Vine Pod.
What about your things?
KWAY Cooks on IG, Caitlin Walker 0 on TikTok, Caitlin Walker 3 on YouTube, and Caitlin _Walker on IG. I got 2 IGs, KWAY Cooks and Caitlin _Walker. But yes, make sure y'all definitely subscribe. We are Vine Podcast. We are Vine on everything, man. It's going up. I see 2025 being really big for me. I do.
Oh my God.
Because I feel like, you know, they say this is the, a lot of people say this is the, what they say.
Like the foundation.
No, it's a saying. It's like God, this is the season where God is like building. I don't know, but basically like this was the season for you to grind, and now you're gonna reap the benefits of your grind in 2025. I'm excited for both of us. I think we got a good thing going. I haven't got to the point where I want to have guests, but I'm thinking you might be my first guest. No lie, we're gonna have to get a schedule and stuff going. Come up this, so I can.
Okay, so I'm excited. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. See y'all.